So you want to begin a voiceover career, especially in Ghana or Nigeria or generally in Africa. You don't know where to begin. Nobody's answering your questions. Well, you're at the right place. If you find yourself anywhere else in the world as well, all these things I'm about to answer in the frequently asked questions for voiceover for beginners will be answered. So yes, let's get to it straightforward. The first one is, what is voiceover and what are the different types of voiceover work? Voiceover is voice recordings used for commercials or spoken word recordings. Yes, spoken word recordings used for commercials. I'm getting into the types of voiceover work, which is commercials, documentary narrations, audiobook narrations. You have announcers, as in TV announcers or radio sweepers, or even live event announcers. You have films, as in movies. Either you're doing trailers or you are the voice actor for a live action or animation. You have video games, you have e-learning, you have IVRs, so many things you can do with voiceovers. So these are the different types of voiceovers that you can get into. But if you begin your career, it's nice to experience most of these things at least for a while before you niche down into what you are specifically comfortable and really good at and what you'll be known for the rest of your career. And speaking of career, what skills and traits are essential for a successful voiceover career? The first one is, because voiceover is not just speaking or just voice, it's a lot of practice in terms of your presentation, your voice acting, so your acting skills. And the first thing you need to even do before you start acting is being able to read and understand your scripts. So the first skill you need to develop is that reading and comprehension of what scripts are and how to break them down properly before you bring them to life. So that's the first skill you need to really cultivate before you learn the acting bits. Reading and understanding scripts, taking directions from the client, and bringing those scripts to life by being in character and making sure that it's believable enough. That is voiceover, different from the way we would normally speak. The second skill you need to develop, or the second trait you need to have, is your ability to use editing and recording softwares or digital audio workstations that you might hear somewhere else. There are several recording softwares and editing softwares. You have Audacity, you have Audition, Logic, I think. So many of them. Some are paid for, some are free. Audacity is free, so you can start with Audacity and learn how to use Audacity. So the techniques for recording clean, clear, quality audio are some of the things you need to learn. Recording the audio and editing that audio into professional WAV or MP3 files to be delivered to clients is one of the things you need to learn. So you need to master at least one of the softwares and how to use them properly. And the last thing is, since it's a career, you need to learn the business side of that career, how to market yourself, how to, deal with clients relations and everything. You need to learn that. So these are the three most essential skills that you need to start and sustain a successful voiceover career. And the third question is, how can you determine if you have a good voice for voiceover work? That's very, should I say, first of all, subjective. I mean, you may get all these comments from people that you have a really great voice and you should work on it, or you should try your hands on voiceover. So it can start from there. But if you have a normal, if you think, voice, then you may want to ask a professional or a voice coach if it's good enough to be worked on, because it's a skill. It's like an instrument that needs to be sharpened or can be sharpened for it to be used in voiceover. So yes, anybody who can speak or have a voice, a clear speaking voice, can do voiceover. So how do you know? You either get these comments from people, or you find a voice coach who can tell you that, yes, this is good enough, or this needs enough work, or this amount of work for it to become good enough to become a voiceover artist. And the fourth question is, what equipment do you need to get started in voiceover work? And what is the basic cost of setting up a home studio? That's a tricky one, because basic costs can be from anywhere from DIY level to professional, hiring somebody to do your studio or treat your studio. This is something I did because this is my work. It's my full-time work. that is hiring a professional to do the studio treatment. But if you're beginning your career, you don't need to worry so much about how much it costs to have a microphone like this, or a condenser mic, or different types of mics that are available for voiceover work. If you learn the technique of recording clean audio, which is even if you're using your phone, and how many inches it needs to be away from your mouth and not so close or directly spoken into the microphone to avoid the plosives, all these sounds, and you know how to maybe avoid echo and all these noises by using a wardrobe or a closet, if there are clothes in it that block all the bouncing reverberations or echoes, then it's good. So learn the technique first. So that is free if you have a closet. If you don't have a closet, then you're using a blanket or things that absorb sound so that you can record good quality audio first before you start investing in affordable microphones or the prosumer level and then the professional, more expensive ones. So how much will it cost? It depends on what you want to do and how much you can afford. But it's either DIY or very, very professional. It can cost you anywhere between zero, having your stuff in the house, to tens of thousands. So that is the answer for that one. So yeah, in the beginning, you probably don't need a home studio unless you can afford it. How do you find an audition for voiceover work? One of the things you can do when you've been practicing a lot is a demo reel. A demo reel will save you a lot of headache. A demo reel is like a photographer's work. They have, their portfolio. You show what you can do. You find scripts on websites like edgestudio.com. There are free sample scripts on edgestudio.com. You can also find different scripts in different places. And these scripts, you use very short scripts. Yes, that's one of the things you should remember. Short scripts that you record and compile different categories or different types of voiceover scripts. It can be commercials or documentary narrations or explainer videos, the things that you want to attract for. And you record them professionally. In this case, if you would go out of your closet and probably hire a professional or go into a studio and record that, it will be great. So record and edit a professional demo reel of what you can do. And then you either put them out there on online platforms that hire voiceover artists, voices.com, voice123.com. You can find a lot of them online. Or you find talent or production agencies in your locality, and then you submit these demo reels to them. And that's how they will be calling you to audition for voiceover jobs that will come either from the online platforms or these production companies. When you go to a production company, you can even do a walk-in and you say you want to have your data or have your voice put in their system so that if there are jobs, they call you to audition. Some production companies actually do that. So find out which production companies are in your locality, in Accra, in Nigeria, in South Africa, in Kenya, wherever you are. Either make the demo reel, submit, or go there in person. So that's how you find an audition for voiceover work. That's one question that I get a lot. How do I, get in the system? How do I? But before you even audition, you should know that you should be good enough to find work. So perhaps you may get the feedback that this is not good enough for us. Then it's no hard feelings. You go and practice some more till you get better. What are some resources for learning about voiceover work, such as online courses or workshops? In these parts, as in Ghana or Nigeria or in Africa in general, I really don't know about the online platforms, except that you're watching a video like this. So YouTube is your friend. Find voiceover content on YouTube and watch. Resources like free scripts, I've already mentioned, edgestudio.com. You can also listen to a ton and ton of voiceovers from people who are already in the practice or in the system, professionals, on all these voiceover platforms like voices.com or voice123. Just listen to a lot of these samples, because it is in listening to these samples and mimicking that you become better at knowing how the inflections and enunciation and the style for different kinds of voiceover work. So there's a lot of listening and there's a lot of practice. So these are the resources I can share. So videos like this with you, and platforms like that. I'll leave a link in the description for those online platforms. Edge Studio for the scripts, voices.com and voice123.com for the places you can listen to all these voiceovers as well. How do you develop and refine your voiceover skills and technique? And it's just one word: practice. Practice, practice, practice. I mean, at some point, you might need a professional to give you that professional feedback and coaching to refine that, because it's a profession and acting comes with coaching and getting better. If you're doing it only in your house and you think you're good, that's entirely up to you. But you're going to get to a certain point where people feel that, or some professional needs don't match the skill that you say you have, and then you don't get the job. So how do you refine your practicing? You're getting peer reviews or reviews from a coach or somebody who can tell you that, no, you need to get better at this point. These are where your weaknesses are, and how you can, refine those things over time. And the eighth question is, how do you market yourself as a voiceover artist, and what are some of effective marketing strategies? At this point, marketing yourself is basically social media. Social media is your friend. If you're really good at what you do and you show your work all the time, practice and show your work all the time. And you have social media platforms like TikTok, Twitter. On Twitter, you can't post audio, so you have to turn that into video. So you record your audio using apps like the Headliner app, and you can turn it into a video and post it on Twitter. So your demo reel, or even your practice run, that, oh, you're just doing a mock ad, just put it out there that, hey, this is what I do, this is what I did, check it out. Does this sound good enough? Will I get work from this? So these are some of the ways you market yourself and put yourself on platforms like LinkedIn, and, show the work you've done, clients that you've worked with. If you can get testimonials or references from these clients, put them all together. If you have a website, if that's where you've gotten to in your voiceover career, put them there, have them have your ratings, so that other clients will see and be able to know that, okay, this is how it's like working with you and what you delivered to other clients. And it makes it easier, or it makes it better for you to stand a chance of getting more voiceover work. And the ninth question is, how do you negotiate rates and handle contracts for voiceovers? As for contracts, if you need help with contracts, then you might want to find somebody who can help you understand what you're signing or what you're getting into. And that's a professional that's going to help you do it. But in terms of rates, there are general standard rates that you might need to research depending on which area you find yourself. Production companies have, in certain areas or regions, have certain standard rates that they charge. But if you are a much more experienced voiceover artists, you have a leverage to sometimes quote the amounts that you want to charge and how you want payments and other things to go. But if you're beginning, then you need to find out how much on average is being charged. Sometimes you might be paid less based on your level of experience and how good you are. The better you get, the more you stand a chance of, asking for more, because of course you've reached that level which deserves that more. So yeah, negotiation also comes from experience, from the type of work you've done. If you've done so much work on commercials and you're a very known commercial voiceover artist, you have a higher chance of saying that, yeah, this is how much I often charge, or this is how much work I've done over the past few years, and this is what I feel for this particular brand. Brand also counts, for this particular brand and campaign, and how long the campaign is, and what the region the campaign is going to be played in. All these things affect how much you could be charging or you could be making from a voiceover work. And the final question is, what are some common mistakes to avoid as a beginner in the voiceover industry? The first one would be not treating this as a profession and not practicing, not investing in the art, as in, the coaching part, or like improving your acting and reading and comprehension and breaking down scripts. That would be your first mistake, because voiceovers are a technical skill and you need to master that technical skill before you can, get better at it. The second one is, of course, also to do with skill. knowing about everything there is to record clean and quality audio, because you can be in a fix where you don't have a studio and the client still requires that you do something, that you need to know how to go about this and get it done. The third one is not treating it like a business. It's a business, it's work. So learn the business side of voiceover and make sure that you're playing your role as required in the business. And don't forget to learn. Learn, listen, practice. Yes, do that, and you have a shot at sustaining a successful voiceover career. To learn more videos will be coming your way on this channel. So stay tuned, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.